it's a bit scrappy. A lot of people ask us when they come to do the train-the-trainer about what happens if someone, and I'm going to use their language, has a meltdown, or what happens if someone gets into a really, really unresourceful place. And I'll say to you what I say to them, because I think it's a huge part about what coaching is. They never do. And the reason they never do is our intention is for learning, not for therapy. Is it therapeutic? Of course. I can reach out and hold someone's hand, and it can be therapeutic. You ever had that feeling when you just need to hold someone's hand? That's therapeutic, it's not therapy. So we're very intentional about boundaries of what is coaching stroke learning and what is therapy. And the reason I don't want to go there is I ain't qualified. So I don't want to go to that particular place. The other presupposition of coaching in the way that I learnt it was that there is only one expert on you, and that is you. Yeah? You could spend every second of the day with someone for 25 years and you still wouldn't know them as well as they know themselves. So, presupposition of coaching is the coach is there to support that re-engagement with lost parts or whatever, but in other words, it's development. Someone was talking about the difference between team building and gather, I think. It's about a redevelopment of that which is already there. It's not about me giving friendly tips and advice and help to mend this broken person, because they're not. They're unresourceful, and they're probably unresourceful because something's got in the way, probably themselves. So to extend that, for us, the golden goal and rule of working with horses is get out of the way. And I don't mean physically, although I mean that as well. It's to allow that experience and that relationship of the person coming together with the horse or horses, allow them to learn and experience that and notice what comes up. And sometimes the most powerful interactions, there's not a word spoken. You know, someone notices something they develop, whatever. And of course, for coaches and their egos, like mine, that's tough. Because what am I contributing? And we are contributing the greatest gift of all, which is allowing that to happen. With just the presupposition this person can help themselves, can be powerful. I'm going to cough, excuse me. Now, sometimes, for some people, it is useful to have an interaction as well. But that interaction has to underpin and support what the horses are doing, not getting in the way of it. And I work very intuitively, and something's just sprung in my head now, so I'm going to tell you about it. I was hired as a coach once to work with a corporate group doing a ropes program. Yeah? Do you understand ropes? That you get teams of people climbing these high ropes and things. And the sponsor came to me and he said, what I want you to do is, as these guys are climbing up the ropes and doing their things, you get up there with them and ask them what, and coach them. And I said, I'm not keen on heights, I've got to tell you that. So that was the first thing that occurred to me. And the second thing that occurred to me was, won't that change their, won't that get in the way or interrupt their experience? And he said, I don't care. So, he had a mandate, he had a list of rules. So the first guy I can remember, and by the way the last, he's kind of, like this, trying to work out how he's not going to fall off this thing. And this sponsor's going to me, go on, go on, go on. And he's like this. And I said to him, classic coach question, what are you experiencing? And I'm going to be very rude now, but I'm going to tell you what he said. Fuck off. And literally, and I kind of came down and the sponsor said, what did he say? I told him. And he thought I was telling him to. But the guy very quickly realised we were creating more problems than we were trying to support. Guess what? The same can happen in horse-assisted education. The same can happen in anything. So I'm nearly out of time. I just wanted to show you the end of this video we had with this very, very special man that came to us. His name is Gabor. No, it's not. Sorry. He owned a business, and he had an inner fear that the business was like a family business. Someone told him, oh, it's like a family business. And to him, that was a negative. He actually, what he read that to be was unprofessional. So he got an expert in. Oh man, that was a bad one. He got this expert in who was a master salesman, and the first thing that he told was that he was way too close with his clients. He knew them too well. You know this is going to end badly, don't you? You just know this is going to... So the guy brought in 2 salesmen, started changing the culture of the company, and long story short, it went to hell in a handcart. And it really had an impact. So he fired the guy and started unpicking all this melees that the guy had caused. And during the process of his coaching, one of our business partners brought him to us, and he did the one-day program. And there's some really interesting stuff preceding this, but I wanted to jump straight to it because there's a very interesting point that happened here. The other thing that I wanted to mention is anything that I show you or mention, we have people's permission to do it, but I think there's something kind of sacred about it, so please feel free to use the examples, but not the names maybe. So just notice what happens. Distance and nearness, and he said, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Look at his face. That's what happens when he upped his energy. He said, I want to up my energy. It doesn't feel like anything's happening. Yeah. Now, I would never interfere, unless the horse was experiencing something that was unpleasant for it, I wouldn't interfere with this. But look, he's more and more energy, and I bet Anna Meekin knows exactly where that energy is coming from. So the coaching to support that was, Sharon said it actually, she said, where is the energy coming from? And it was anger. And he just grounded it, look. Wow. Sorry, I'm going slightly goosey watching this. And that fella loved him. You know. What you haven't seen, if you walk like this, you know, that thing, look. In fact, I think it shows you, doesn't it? Look, absolutely. Yeah, he has woken up, yeah. Can you see that? Look at the top, left. Yeah. That's how he was, look. We didn't say, you need to stand up. We didn't say, open your chest. We didn't say, do this. None of that. Actually, Sharon said, where's the energy coming from? And this is a really interesting thing. We anchored it, because when he finished, and he had finished with the experience, oh, that's something else. You may recognize that. When he finished, it was like this glow around him. And he said, what's it? Focused, grounded leadership. And for him, that was the way he wanted to lead his company. And here's something really interesting which came out of that particular experience. He came as part of a one-to-one program, and then he brought his team. His team were his university friends, and it was like a family. And we thought it's going to be interesting to see his starting point. It was that. Year and a half later, maybe 2. And it was still in there, you know, it's not like it had faded or anything, he came in that way. So I suppose the message in this is, as much as necessary, as little as possible. If they're getting on all right, leave them alone. And if they need support, give them just that. It's about what's happening, not do this, try this. I've seen some people that go, well, you know, hold the wand different, or... The challenge with that is, now I'm an expert and I'm telling you, I'm giving you my knowledge. I'm not the expert on the client's the expert on the client. They have to tap into it and engage with it. Okay, thank you very much for your time.